video, we're going to be talking about the dollar CAD forex pair. We're going to be comparing the US dollar and the Canadian dollar, and then understanding the drivers about how we come about the price or the value of this forex pair. The dollar CAD forex pair is comparing two currencies, the dollar and the Canadian dollar, and it is basically showing us the relationship between these two countries in North America. If dollar CAD is 1.2, that means that it takes 1.2 Canadian dollars to purchase one US dollar. The US and Canada have a very prominent economic relationship because there's a lot of cross-border trade between them. Canada is considered an commodity country, and the Canadian dollar is considered a commodity currency. Why? Because Canada deals in a lot of oil, metals, and other commodity trades. So if the price of any of these commodities were to increase, Canada, being a major exporter of them, would experience an economic boost, and the Canadian dollar would appreciate against the US dollar. In fact, the US dollar Canadian dollar forex pair is correlated to the oil price index. In 2022, Canada exported about $135 billion worth of crude oil. That's a 22.5% increase from 2021. And the United States was the biggest importer of Canada's crude oil, accounting for 68% of Canada's exports. In 2022, the average price of oil was around $90. That's up from the $65 that oil was trading at in 2021. So as you can see, the price has been up, and even production, exportation has been up. That would mean that the Canadian dollar is set to appreciate against the US dollar. So if we're trying to ascertain the value of the US dollar, we're going to pay attention to major economic indicators such as GDP of the US, their CPI, their unemployment rates, and any interest rate announcements from their FOMC. On the other hand, Canada works a bit differently. Yes, you pay attention to the major economic indicators and all that, but the major indicator for the price of CAD is any news or updates about the price of oil. And let me ask you, who majorly controls the price of oil in the world? If you guessed OPEC, clap for yourself. OPEC consists of 13 countries. These 13 oil producing countries, including Russia, OPEC Plus, control about 80% of the world's oil production. So policies from OPEC or any announcements from OPEC can affect the price of the Canadian dollar. In fact, in 2008, OPEC cut oil production in response to the global financial crisis. And what this led to was a sharp increase in the price of oil, and this caused the Canadian dollar to appreciate. Then, in 2014, OPEC maintained oil production levels even though global demand was falling. This led to a slump in oil price and caused the Canadian dollar to depreciate. Then in 2020, OPEC cut oil production because of the COVID-19 pandemic and the global lockdown that was happening. This led to a sharp increase in the price of oil and caused the Canadian dollar to appreciate. On top of this, if OPEC were to even say, oh, there's a strong economic outlook for the price of oil, would you guess that even that statement alone has an impact on the Canadian dollar and can cause the Canadian dollar to rise? This is about the same for other commodity currencies. They are strongly correlated to the commodity that they are mainly tied to in terms of exportation and importation. So we also have a table of other commodity currencies and what they are paired to. In the next video, we're going to talk about the gold dollar pair. So as you can see, we moved from cross pair to commodity pair to an actual commodity. I'll see you there.